Hey there, it's Martha, and if you're new, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. This is my monthly update video. I don't know if it's going to be short or long. I'm just going to talk. But I just got back from Japan. Epic trip to Japan yesterday. I think I'm not jet lagged, shockingly. It's 17-hour difference, but I was able to ride the wave, I think, and I went to bed last night at 11 and woke up at 6:30, so kind of normal time. I think I've become a better traveler with jet lag. I just kind of know how to handle it. But anyway, I will have a video on Japan. I will talk a little bit about it here because this is my monthly update video, so I'm updating you on kind of what's been going on in my life. October, and then Japan stemmed between end of October and beginning of November, and then we'll talk about my wax numbers, and then I'll just kind of give an update, which is what I do. So this time around, I'm not going to have my screen here with all my spreadsheets and stuff. I just wrote down my numbers here on my little tablet, and we'll talk about that and just an update. And then I'll talk a little bit about, I think, my channel and how I'm feeling right now. So that's all part of the update. So anyway, if you're interested in hearing what I melted, or how much I melted, I should say, how much I melted in October and what's going to go on in November and in this little snapshot in time, this little season of my life here, then stick around. Okay, so for October, let's just get into numbers right away and then we'll talk about everything else. So for October, I melted or used 21 pieces of wax. I guess I'll just mention it now. So in October, I left for Japan on the 23rd. So I had maybe 3 weeks to melt. And I wasn't home for 10 days of that. So to me to melt 21 pieces of wax when I really was not home much at all in November is pretty good. I was house sitting for the first part of October. And so I was able to warm a little bit there, but not like I normally do. And then it was Japan. So still happy that I was able to use 21 pieces of wax. I brought in 0, so it was a no-buy month for me, which helps with my numbers overall. And then I melted about 76.5 ounces. I do track ounces because it's actually telling me how much wax I'm really using up, better than, 1 bar, 1 tub, 1 loaf kind of thing. So my starting number is 770 units. That was recalculated or redone after I did an inventory. I think at the end of September, I re-inventoried all my wax, everything. So 770 is the adjusted number after I recounted everything. And so my total outs for year to date are 414 units or pieces of wax, and ins for the entire year. So what I purchased is 179. So it's been a really good year. Every single month this year, I have used more than I've brought in. Even on a month like October where I didn't warm that much. So that makes me super happy, and I'm going to keep this streak going. And so I'm proud of that. So keep the streak going. So while I was gone, Scentsy news that they dropped all of these. I think we have the month of November to go in and add these very, very popular scents that people, in some cases were some Scentsy Club heartbreaks. It's only if you have a Scentsy Club. So if you do not have a Scentsy consultant and you're interested in this, I'd be happy to be one for you. I have my information in the description below. But I think most people have a Scentsy consultant, and they've already done. I'm late to the game. And as far as this news, and then there's these scents that you can add to your club. Almond croissant came back, so of course that's going in my club. That is one that I never got a chance to club because I joined Scentsy after that scent had gone away. I think it was there the previous fall winter, and then when I joined that fall winter, it was gone. So that one I definitely added back. I know I added 4 fall winter scents. And then I want to go back and look what spring summer scents I may want to add, because I do have 2 clubs. One's a quarterly one, one's bi-monthly, and I mean they alternate what's in there, but one is fall winter scents and one is spring and summer, and I like to keep them separated so I can skip grouping of scents that to the appropriate season, right? Where I may want to warm those types of scents and not have a mix. So I'm glad I started it that way. And yeah, so I'm going to keep it going. So I added almond croissant to my fall winter club, and a couple of other ones. Christmas cactus is another one, but I do have to go through the list again. But when I did look through the list, I'm like, some they just offered. Some I had in my club and I chose to take out because it's similar to something that I decided to keep. I think Spiced Ember is an example of that. It's being offered. It's a great scent. But I have cinnamon pine cones, and although they're not the same scent, they have the same vibe to me. Like they kind of fill the same desire. So I'm not going to put Spiced Ember, for example, in my club because I have cinnamon pine cones, and I had them both there for a while, and I purposely took out Spiced Ember for that reason. So as I was looking through the list, I said, well, some of these I took out. I think Halloween Town or Ghostly Greetings. One of those is back, and I remember taking that one out. So I don't feel the need to re-add things that I made a decision on already, unless it was a regret. But I don't think there's anything on the list that I was like, oh, why did I take that out? King Cake is back. I know that was back. And I would have added that in my club if Almond Croissant was not added. To me, kind of fits the same vibe. Not the same scent, but if Almond Croissant was not an option, I would have added King Cake because it kind of fills that really bakery, yummy scent, right? But I have almond croissant, so I'm not going to add king cake. So there's things like that as I'm going through the list, I'm really not trying to grow my club more, and just being really discerning about what I would put back in. But everything else I kind of already have in my club that I saw on the list, except for those 4. I don't remember what they are, but almond croissant, Christmas cactus. I don't remember the other 2 that I added. But it was only 4 cents. And then I have to go back and look at the list again because I was just kind of looking for fall winter. I think it's Sandswept is in there. That'll go in my spring summer club. So I do want to add that in my club. So I'm really happy for people who either joined later or maybe, got rid of their club. I know my friend Chris accidentally, or not accidentally, I think she decided to not do a club, and she had Hemingway in there and I think Beach, and those are back now, and she can add them back in because they're very Breakfast in Bed is another very popular one that I know is back. So Honey Spiced Pear is another one that I know is a heartbreak for a friend of mine. I'm happy that they did that and people have opportunities to put things in their club, but I'm gonna try to be again discerning and mindful as I've been trying to be this whole year, and not go nuts and just add a bunch of stuff to my club, because I don't want a club with 50 bars. And this is me because I warm vendor wax, and I actually feel lately I've been preferring, not lately, honestly for a bit, I feel like I prefer vendor wax in general. I have, again, my club loves from Scentsy, that I love, but I just love the variety that I get in vendor wax that I don't feel I get as much with Scentsy. I think Scentsy does some, again, great scents that I obviously have them in my club for a reason, because I do love them, but I need to be mindful of how much wax I would bring in at any time. And I do want my clubs to ship. I haven't had it ship in 2 years, but I do want my clubs to ship, but I just have so much wax, right? So I do want to get to a point where I'm pretty much just having my club ship, and that's a good baseline for like the Scentsy that I have. And then I'll add some new favorites as they release some LTOs, and, maybe I discover a new love, but trying to keep that under control and being really mindful about what I purchase as far as wax and everything really goes in general, which then leads me into, maybe I'll kind of roll in this other thing is I came back from Japan. I was gone for 16 days. I had left windows open. I left my bedroom window open, like a crack, and then the kitchen window open a little bit because I knew the temperature here in California is not going to change all that much. In fact, it is currently 77 degrees, and it's Sunday, November 9th as I'm filming this. So, I mean, I knew it was going to be pretty much consistent while I was gone. So I figured I can leave the windows open and, it won't be freezing cold in the apartment when I get back. And I could still smell wax, even though I'd taken all the wax out of the warmers. I can smell it faintly, like the sweet smell. Which is a good thing, but it's a scent that I do not smell when I'm here. When I'm here day in and day out, I can't smell that scent unless I'm gone for a week or a business trip or something. And then I come back and I'm like, I didn't realize like my apartment just smells, good smell, but just it's there, even though I'm not warming anything. And so last night I put in white pumpkin and driftwood from Scentsy. I just put 2 in my warmer here. It's a little milk diamond or diamond milk. I always get the name confused. Warmer. And normally I have 2 going. I have a warmer over here and a little warmer over here. Sometimes I'll have another warmer there. I try to have a triangle in my room with warmers so it just fills the room better. Placement is important. If you're having issues with your warmers and they're not under any vents or anything like that. So I get a pretty good throw in this room in general. So last night I put in white pumpkin and driftwood. Instead of putting 4 cubes like I normally would, just of anything, I just put in 2. And it's a good performing bar regardless. It's not like that was ever a bad performer. But just the 2 was like almost too much. Like I probably could have done 1 cube and it would have been like enough to fill the room and enough that I would like hitting my nose. Then, and it filled the hallway and everything. I could smell it everywhere. And then downstairs, I put in 2 cubes instead of my normal like 4 to 6. And so what I'm experiencing is my nose is reset. I was in a place where there isn't a lot of strong scents at all. Like I only smelled cologne on one person walking in front of me in Japan. Otherwise, you are crammed into trains, you're crammed into the subway, and it's just everyone smells clean. Like there is just no scent. I don't smell perfumes on anyone. I don't, no one smelled, there was no BO at all. I mean, it's just, they are a very, I think, conscientious group, when it comes to how they interact outside. And I'll talk more about Japan and my experience, but that's just one of the obvious things, right? And there's signs there too, like, yeah, body odor or strong scents is not considered polite, right? It could be offensive to other people. No talking on trains. Like if you're talking, it's like a library whisper. It's like you're just talking to your friend very softly like this. In fact, we're at one place and I told my daughter, I'm like, voice down, a little lower. It's a very soft conversation. No phone calls, no taking phone calls in restaurants or on the train. That's like a no-no. No walking and eating. That's rude. You don't do that. If you're going to eat something or if you bought something from the convenience store or even the market where there's just food, food, like booths of just food everywhere. You don't walk and chew and eat your, fried tempura or whatever you just got. Even though it's, walkable food, I suppose. You stand to the side and you eat it there, you finish, you throw it away, and then you move on. So there was no scent. I noticed that. The only time I smelled scent was I went to a Lalabo, 2 places because I wanted to smell Le Labo, let me finish my sentence, perfume, cologne, store. And so, of course, there you smell, the Santal and all of the scents. We just wanted to smell what the exclusive scent for that city was. So we didn't go into one in Osaka, but in Kyoto, they had their own scent exclusive to Kyoto. So we wanted to smell it. And then in Tokyo, we went to the Tokyo one and wanted to smell the Tokyo scent. And the Tokyo scent was light, I thought. So for $300 something a bottle, I was like, yeah, no. I mean, I thought about it because I did want to bring home a scent that would remind me of the trip. So I did end up buying a perfume, but not from Le Labo. Although I was tempted by the matcha, but I'm like, I could buy them. I could buy the matcha now. It's not exclusive. So anyway, I did buy a perfume for my daughter and a perfume for myself. I'm going to do a haul video of everything I got. I don't know if you could see it, but there's this maybe blue bag here in the corner, if you can see that in the frame. It's the a duffel bag that I had folded up and taken in my carry-on, knowing that I would fill it with things. Well, yeah, I filled it with things. That bag was like, I was like, zip up, come on, you're gonna fit in there. And that bag is full of stuff. So I'm gonna do a Japan haul of what I purchased in Japan. It is, I mean, if I were to just give you a general kind of guess, I'd say it's about 30% cheaper than like the US dollar. Right now, at the time of this video, you get 153 yen to a dollar. So the dollar is strong. I was shopping quite a bit because it's cheaper. Why not? I mean, and when am I going to go back to Japan? Who knows? So anyway, back to why I initially went down this tangent. My nose reset because I just really wasn't smelling anything. And even being in a city like Tokyo with so many people and cars and stuff, like, didn't smell like polluted. Like, it's just, so I came home, nose reset, put in the white pumpkin and driftwood, and I didn't need much at all. And right now I have Teddy B's The Good Witch, which I could smell before I left. I remember it being one that was a soft scent. I have it in 2 warmers, and it's very strong to me right now. So my nose is definitely cleared, reset. And I feel like the whole point of this little tangent, the story, is I feel like I'm going to try to really start with a little bit because I don't want to go nose blind, which will happen eventually. But I feel like I'm going to start with just a little bit and enjoy it. Maybe not even warm things every day. So we'll transition into this conversation about this snapshot and how I'm feeling about things right now. I feel like having a YouTube channel and sharing like my weekly empties and what I've been melting in some ways makes me use more. So I have something to share, every week. And since my sense of smell is very strong right now, that things that were lighter to me, I can smell a lot clearer and a lot stronger, like Teddy B's. I feel like maybe I want to use less. Maybe I just want to let it not melt every day. Maybe I just want to let wax ride a little longer and not change it out every day. I mean, I changed it out every day because usually the next morning I want to smell something different. So, I might go back to that, but part of me is like, maybe I don't want to melt something every day. And then there's that part of me is like, well, you're not going to have things to share every week. And maybe that's the case. And maybe that's okay. Maybe that is okay. And so this brings me now to a little bit about my channel. And I've been thinking about this for a while. Probably even before I left Japan, and I figured I would talk about this during this update, is, how do I say this? I love this community. Absolutely love this community. And I love to share things. but you can only talk about wax for so long, I think, so much. And then it starts to feel like I'm sharing the same scents, I'm melting the same things. And so and I've always had other things on my channel besides that. I've done vlogs. I've been doing vlogs, I think, on my channel inconsistently, but they're there. For the past 2 years, I'll drop one in every few months. And did some book talk, book reviews of what I've been reading. So I've always thrown other things in there, but I think there may be more of that. And I know that those videos get less views, but right now I'm kind of thinking, I don't care. It's really, why did I start YouTube? And it was to share something I loved and find a community of people that also understood this passion of fragrance and scents and wax and those things. And it wasn't to have it didn't start out as it started out that I wanted content, obviously, to film, but it wasn't like every week I was going to do this. I thought I'll be lucky if I get, 3 videos up a month or something. And then you get into this routine, and then YouTube starts to feel a little bit like a machine, right? There's algorithms. I have people that I've subscribed to that I never see on my home screen because it changes to whatever I'm watching. I started watching a ton of Japanese skincare videos and things like that before I left. And now my home screen, that's all it is. So, YouTube does not show you and show you things depending on what you're watching. So, and then whenever I do a video that isn't Scentsy, for example, Scentsy gets the most views, period. And the smaller the vendor, the less known the vendor, the smaller the views. But I guess what I'm getting at is I kind of don't care. That's how I'm feeling right now, because I really want to get back to just enjoying things and talking about things and more of these videos. My favorite videos is actually this monthly update where I can just share about what's been going on in my life, and you share hopefully what's going on with your life. I mean, that's the hope, right? That this is more interactive, even though YouTube isn't like a live where it's truly interactive, but it's just, talking about what I've been up to and what's going on in my life. And that's why it's my favorite video. I feel like it's easy, but it's also what I enjoy doing is the sharing part. And so there may be more different things on my channel. Before I left for Japan, I had gone through all my skincare. I think I talked about that. I think it was in my last monthly update where I'm going through all my skincare and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have more than I thought. Makeup is another one where you don't realize how long it takes to use a blush or I don't think I've ever, well, I shouldn't say ever, I'm sure I have, but not in any recent years have I finished a lipstick. Lipsticks are my kryptonite, and they're all kind of the same color, which is so funny. I'm like, it's just a different shade of dusty rose. But most of my lipsticks are kind of, they're in that same center. They go from rose to mauve, maybe a couple berries, and then some nudes, coffee, warm tones. But I have 40 lipsticks. So before I left Japan, I started watching a lot of Project Pan videos, which I'd watched in the past. And this is the thing with YouTube in my life, right? I have so many rabbit holes that I go into. I've mentioned before, I make cards and I scrapbook and I'm a photographer on the side. And so I have tons journaling. I journal every day. I've had a journal going for over 12 years. So there's lots of things that I enjoy that I don't necessarily share on YouTube, or maybe I've shared a snippet in a vlog. I know I've shared some cards in a vlog in the past. But I think I want to share more of those things, but they're not wax related. And so I did consider, do I want to start a new channel of just my Project Pan? Maybe, maybe not. And the only reason I thought about that is because YouTube will not show that video. If I make a Project Pan video or start one, they won't show it to people who like Project Pan videos, because it's like, Martha's a wax, she talks about wax. So we're only going to show it to people who watch her videos, and maybe a couple others. And so there's that part of like, well, I'm limiting myself to people who want to watch that, and I'm giving it to people who probably don't want to watch that. So I'd consider that, but I'm like, I don't know if I want to start a new channel. So anyway, even if I'm talking to myself, I'm going to share it because it's kind of what I'm into right now. So I do plan to do a Project Pan because I am into that right now. I want to use stuff up. I really haven't bought makeup unless it's something I ran out of in over a year, I think. I'm not, but I get tempted really quickly on buying stuff because I do like to watch a lot of makeup hauls and things. But like I said, I've been watching Project Pan. I'm like, I really need to do that. I'm very motivated to do that. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to do that. And whether it's something you want to watch or not, I'd say, I hope you don't unsubscribe, maybe just skip those videos. But that's just kind of where I am in this season. I feel like I don't need as much wax. I'm not doing hauls very often, although there will be a Rose Girl haul coming this week, I think. Because that's the last pre-order. That's the last order that I placed of wax. And that was back in late September, I think, early October. And, and I just have a lot of passions other than just talking about wax. So what am I trying to say here in a very long-winded way is, you may not have consistent wax videos from me like you have in the past, where like every Monday I had my weekly empties. Maybe it's every other Monday. I don't know. Like, I'm not sure. But I just came back from this vacation with such a great sense of like actually restfulness, and I feel great. And I feel like I want to enjoy my life. And sometimes I feel a little tethered by my own channel, which is my own doing. It's my own, it's my own thing. No one told me I have to put a weekly empties video every week, but I hear from people like, oh, I love them. And so I feel like I want to please everyone. And I think that's what happens to me. I want to give people what they want. So I give people what they want. And then I start to feel like, but then I don't have time to do this. And I don't have time to do that. And I don't have time to do these other things that I enjoy. Last year in 2024, and like 2023 and 2024, I didn't read as much because I was like video, and my channel was growing. And there's this like addiction thing of like more. And so it's like you see this momentum and you don't want it to end. And then what I found myself is like, I didn't have time to read. And then this year I've made time to read, but I haven't had time to watch too much TV. And I'm like, there's some good shows out there that I want to watch. And so time is finite. And even though when I substitute one thing, something else takes its place. But I have like 12 things that I want to do, but I only have time to do like 7 of them, if that makes sense, unless I reduce the time in those to add in like the 8th or 9th thing. And YouTube does take a lot of time. And so, but I love it. It's just this weird thing. I don't know if I'm talking in circles, but I guess what I'm getting at is I want to do more. I want to enjoy other parts of my life. I want to be able to share other parts of my life. And if I don't feel like, feel like not recording a video on a certain day, I want to not feel like I have to, even though it's self-inflicted, deadlines and things. I want to try to get away from kind of like this machine thinking, of just like, you just got to do it, versus actually asking myself, what sounds good right now? When I did yoga, and I did a whole certified yoga thing, it was like the best experience of my life. And during that time in my life, I was meditating, I was doing yoga. I felt very centered, and I felt very in tune with myself. And I feel like nowadays with ChatGPT, with, social media, and all of those things existed back then, but I wasn't partaking in it as much. I wasn't chatting with ChatGPT on a daily. And I feel like I have, how do I say this? I feel like we're becoming a little more robotic by depending so much on this external stuff, external validation. How many views is this going to get? Oh, it got less than last month. What does that mean? Am I losing people? There's just so much outside noise that we get trapped into, or again, I say we, but it's I get trapped into, but I don't think I'm alone here. Let me know that I'm not alone, that I want to go back to actually just sitting with myself and saying, what am I in the mood for right now? Is it recording a video? Okay, let's do it. Like, I wanted to record this right now. Not because I feel like I have to get something up on Monday, but I missed you guys. It's been almost 3 weeks. But just asking myself what I want to do, not getting that validation from the outside. It's so much harder to do than you think. So I hope I can listen to my own advice and stick with this and kind of go back to, hey, do I want to dance? Do I want to listen to music? So lately, the past couple days, I've been listening to music and playlists and adding things to my playlist. I kind of got re-inspired by going into Tower Records in Japan. I'm like, oh my gosh, Tower Records, that was like my thing. I remember, in the 90s going there on Friday nights and flipping through the new music and buying music. And so I've been listening to music. And music's always been part of my life. I love music. But a lot of the times I will not listen to music because I see the queue of my podcasts that are sitting there. I'm like, ooh, I haven't listened to this and I haven't listened to that. And so again, I'm like, oh, I gotta I gotta catch up. I have to catch up to my podcasts. And this morning I'm like, no, I want to listen to music and dance a little while I'm cooking breakfast. That's what I want to do. I don't want to read a book. I don't want to listen to a book right now, even though I have a book that's been, in my, on my phone here that I am enjoying. But it's been 20 days that I've been listening to one book, but I'm okay with that because I felt like listening to music, and I want to get out of that you have to, or this pressure of like, uh-oh, this queue is building up. I have to catch up. I don't have to listen to every single podcast. Same thing with watching YouTube videos. There was a time where I felt so guilty because I wasn't watching all my friends' videos all the time because, and then I'd add them to my watch later and add them to my watch later. And then I have a queue of like 40 hours of videos to watch. And I'm like, I don't have that time. I work full time. I'm not home all the time. I can't watch videos at work. I can't listen to audiobooks at work. So then I finally said, let it go. Like, let it go. Watch when you can. Watch when you want to. Watch what you want to. I don't always want to watch wax videos. Like I said, I was watching, videos on Japan, and I'm in a kind of cleaning video moods, and I'm in still like makeup and I even like watching haircutting videos. There's just so many different things that I enjoy that means I have less time to watch wax videos. And sometimes I'm like, I'm not in the mood for it. And so I'm trying to listen to more of what am I really in the mood for and not feel like I have to do something to please somebody else. Life's too short. I'm not pleasing myself. I'm pleasing someone who doesn't even know me. You know what I mean? Or a thing like a book, right? Because the library holds, and it's just like, so I just feel like we're in this machine of always feeling like you have to, or you should. And even though I tell myself I try not to live with shoulds, they still come up. And so anyway, I want to go back to that, what feels good at the time. So that may mean my channel will have different things. It's all in what feels good at the time. What do I want to talk about? Do I want to take a week off and not, watch YouTube or make videos or anything, if it makes me happy, I should, right? So anyway, there's a lot of things that's going on, but I think what will make me happy, which will be future videos, is sharing my haul, sharing what I got in Japan, whether people want to see that or not, because it's not wax related. I'm still going to share it. My Japan trip. I went to Osaka, Kyoto, and Tokyo, and some outlying towns and cities near those. And I can't wait to share it with you because it was a trip of a lifetime. So if you're interested in that, I hope you watch. If not, skip it. That's fine. But I will definitely share my trip. And then I think someone had asked me, I was actually in my Facebook group here. Someone said, Martha, can you please make a video? And so, yeah. So I have like 3 videos in mind that are all related to that. So I'll go make sure. I said yes. I was planning on doing it. Now I can't remember specifically what the ask was, but it had something to do with Japan. Please make a video. Oh, how I planned my Tokyo Disneyland vacation package. That's what it is. So that'll be there too. So anyway, I'm in a mood, I guess. I'm in a mood, and I want to enjoy. I think I just want to ride this vacation high as long as I can, I guess is what it comes down to. I mean, I just got back yesterday, and part of me is like, I don't want to fall back in the same old rut. I have to go to work tomorrow like everyone else. And yes, there will be routines. And I am a creature of habit and routine. And part of me had 2 weeks of spontaneity and not routine that there's something so energizing about that. Like I used to go out and take photos and take my camera everywhere and take pictures. And I mentioned this, I think, a couple months ago. And I hadn't done that in so long, and doing that felt good. So I want to make sure I incorporate those things that I love and the passions that I have, and not let them fall into later when I have time, or not get so comfortable, because I get very comfortable at home where I just want to be at home. But there's something so beautiful about going outside, and I love that about Japan. I walked 28,000 steps on average. 28,000 steps. I don't know if that's over 12 miles or something like that. And being outside and being amongst the trees and the plants and the flowers, and then the opposite of being in a city and the buzz of the people. I mean, it was so good to be out. And I feel like a lot of times I keep myself in because it's just like it's safe and it's comfortable, but it felt so good to be out. And I was gone all day from like 8, sometimes 7 in the morning, and not back till 10 o'clock at night. And we just walked so many places and saw so many things and experienced just so many wonderful interactions with people that I know I'm like, oh, it was such a good vacation. And I feel like even if you're not going to Japan or anywhere, go out, go and just get outside. And it does help that it was Japan, because the culture there is just, they're so nice and kind. And I think going back to, no cell phones, no this, no that, right on the phone, but it's all intended to, you're being aware of other people. And that's why you do that. No one, I'm one of those people that gets super annoyed when I see someone on the speakerphone, like in the airport, or even in a restaurant, right? I can hear an entire conversation going on, and I'm like, I didn't need to hear your entire conversation. I'm trying to have a conversation here. And, and I feel like I'm saying go out, but in America, unfortunately, I feel like there's so many entitled people that maybe going out might be more irritating than staying home, maybe. So I don't know if that's the best advice. Maybe go to a park, go to some quiet places, take a hike, nature, because, maybe going outside and being in the city will just like, you'll come home going, but didn't feel that at all in Japan. In fact, observation was, I go, nobody honks. Like compared to New York City where it's like all the time, or even in San Francisco, honking, even though we don't honk as much as New York, but like no honking. I think I heard a honk twice and it was a bus, I think telling someone to go, that wasn't paying attention. And it was like, it wasn't like, it was just like no honking. The noise that is there is videos and music and screens. There's a lot of that. So there's this chaos, but then there's also this quiet. And so it is a country, I feel like, of a lot of contradictions in some way. But I think they look at it as there's a time and a place for those things, those differences. But anyway, get out, enjoy life, do what makes you happy. That's what I'm trying to get at, and do what makes you happy. And I try to do that, but I do notice that I fall into expectations that I make for myself. I blabbered on way longer than I wanted to about not much. But I did want to talk about that and just, there may be more inconsistencies in my channel and newer things. But Project Pan, even though I have a haul here of a lot of skincare that I said I already had a lot of, it's good skincare. Their skin in Japan is good for a reason. So K Beauty, J Beauty, it's hardly anyone wore makeup there. Why? Because their skin is flawless. And why? Because they have great skincare. So I did buy more skincare than, I probably didn't need, because I have some here, but I have been using my stuff in the past few months. I've gotten through some things, so I felt okay in buying some more skincare. But the Project Pan, I'm going to do that. So I'm not sure when. I think it might take an entire weekend, honestly, to pull everything from everywhere, because I know I have some stuff over there in that drawer, and I have definitely stuff in the cabinets in my bathroom, and then some on top, and some. So I have stuff everywhere. I'm going to pull all the things, and this won't be a typical Project Pan. This will be all the things that I have, and really, like, instead of, I have so many open things, right? And I have like 3 of the same type of thing, and they're all open. Like, I just want to finish one, move on to the next, finish one, move on to the next, and use it up. So I think that'll be interesting. So it won't be a regular like makeup Project Pan, but there will be makeup in there. It'll just be like, take inventory of all the stuff I have and shop my own stash, but with my skincare and makeup. And then I think before I go, because I think I've just been rambling, before I go, I will ask if anyone has any questions about Japan or just planning a trip, because this wasn't through a tour company. This was all on our own. Me and my oldest daughter, mostly her, did the planning, was all on our own. There was one tour that we took, and I didn't book it till we were already in Japan. And it was just a 1-day trip to Mount Fuji. So besides that, it was all planned. I'll talk about how the carry-ons worked, how just having 3 pairs of pants and like 5 tops worked. I'll talk about those things. But if there's any other questions about Japan in general, observations, things that I found interesting, all that stuff. I mean, I plan to talk about that, but if you have any specific questions like the Disneyland thing, I will love to know what that is. So put those down in the comments below, and I'll make sure to incorporate and try to answer those as best I can. So I think that's all I had to say. I hope you enjoy the other content that I will throw in here from time to time. We'll see how this evolves and changes as, we as people evolve and change, and the experiences we have, how they impact us and make us look at things differently. I think I'm just in that place right now where I want to do things that I truly enjoy when I enjoy them. And I enjoy so many things that I want to talk about, so many different things, and enjoy those things. So, and I know that, like I said, I've incorporated these things it's not new, but I think there'll be more of them. And in talking to some of my friends, and I think we're all kind of in the same spot. I know that Chris had changed her name from Dazzling Scents with Chris to, I still can't get it, Wax Books and Whimsy, right? Because it was more things. I don't know if I should change my channel name to something else. I don't know. I know Steph from Steph Loves Life did a video recently of some changes she wants to do. So I think it's just, once you've been doing this for a while, you just want a little more variety to make it more fun and stuff like that. So I hope you'll stick with me, but if not, that's okay. I want people who want to be here and want to hear what I have to say, and that's pretty much it. So if I've inspired you in any way, or any comments you want to make, please leave them below. And I'm happy to be back. Not looking forward to work tomorrow, but I'm really, really glad that I saved up for this trip and, did it all. I don't spend money on a lot of things. Even wax I've been really good at. I'm still under, I think I'm at $720 that I spent this year on wax. And a lot of it was to save for this trip. And future trips. I think travel is one of the things that I truly enjoy, because I feel like there's no other way to learn and evolve and change, I think, unless you go somewhere where things are very different, outside of your bubble. Movies, books, all those things, I think, open your mind to new worlds, new thoughts, new experiences. And I think that's a good thing, and I think it's a great educator, not for just what you learn, but what you learn about yourself. And right now I'm in that, end of the year, what's 2026 going to be like? Who do I want to be in 2026? What do I want to be doing in 2026 and beyond? And that's where I am right now. So we'll see what next month's update looks like, but I hope I follow my own advice and do what makes me happy all the time, as much as I can. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you do something that makes you happy and brings you joy today, whether that is melting your favorite wax, or going out for a walk or a hike, or, petting your dog or your cat, whatever it is. Dance. I mean, when's the last time you danced? I love dancing. I don't care. I'm by myself. I love dancing and moving and, watching a good show. I watched Silo on the plane on Apple TV. I'd been wanting to watch it for a long time, but I'm like, oh, well, I got 12 hours. Let's binge watch season 1. And I did. I binge watched season 1, and I can't wait to get to season 2. So do what makes you happy, and make time for those things, and be kind to others and courteous to others, but please yourself, not always pleasing everyone else. That doesn't always ring well, or I don't know what I'm trying to say. That, be true to yourself, right? And make yourself happy, and all of those things. I think they're important too. We give so much to others, I think, as people, whether you're a mom or you have your kids. I mean, I feel like I'm always, you're always doing things, work, right? Your boss needs something. I feel like you're always giving. Give back to yourself. Give back. Fill yourself up. Otherwise you will burn out. And this is probably the first vacation in a long time that I was, like I said, did so much, but I came back re-energized, which has never happened to me before, where usually you come back from vacation like, oh my gosh, I'm exhausted. I need another vacation for my vacation. I'm so energized right now. So anyway, again, I went on for another 15 minutes probably. So thank you so much, and I will chat with you later. Bye-bye.